As the clock strikes midnight, the rain begins to pour relentlessly outside. The sound of the heavy rain hitting the windows creates an eerie atmosphere inside the old, creaky house. The darkness seems to engulf everything, making it impossible to see anything beyond a few feet. Suddenly, a loud crash echoes throughout the house, causing your heart to skip a beat. You freeze in fear, unsure of what could be causing such a disturbance. Was it just the wind knocking something over? Or is there something more sinister lurking? In the shadows, slowly, you make your way towards the source of the noise, each step feeling heavier than the last. The floorboards creak beneath your weight, adding to the tension in the air. Your heart is racing, and you can't shake the feeling that you are being watched. As you reach the room where the crash originated from, you are met with a chilling sight. The window is shattered, glass scattered across the floor. The wind howls through the broken window, sending shivers down your spine. But that's not what sends fear coursing through your veins. In the corner of the room, you see a figure standing in the darkness. Its eyes glint in the dim light, and a sinister smile spreads across its face. You can feel its gaze burning into you, paralyzing you with fear. Every instinct is telling you to run, but you find yourself rooted to the spot, unable to move. Just as you muster the courage to turn and flee, a flash of lightning illuminates the room, revealing the figure in all its horrifying glory. It's not human. Its twisted features and malevolent aura make it clear that this is something far beyond your comprehension. The thunder roars outside, shaking the house to its foundations. The figure starts to move towards you, its movement slow and deliberate. You can feel its malevolence closing in on you, suffocating you with its darkness. And as the rain continues to pour outside, turning the night into a torrential storm, you realize that you are not alone in this house. You are at the mercy of something wicked, something that thrives in the darkness of a rainy night. And as the figure reaches out to you, a scream escapes your lips, lost in the roar of the storm. As the rain fell in heavy sheets, the small town of Ravenwood felt like it was being swallowed whole by the relentless storm. The residents of the town had never seen anything like it before. It was as if the sky had opened up, and all the water it held was coming down at once. The sound of the rain hitting against the windows was deafening, and the howling wind added an eerie soundtrack to the ominous weather. Amidst the chaos of the storm, a group of friends found themselves stranded in a remote cabin on the outskirts of town. They had planned a weekend getaway to escape the hustle and bustle of city life, but now they were trapped in the middle of a nightmare, with no phone signal, and the road leading back to town flooded. They had no choice but to wait out the storm. As the hours ticked by, the unease in the cabin grew. The rain showed no signs of letting up, and the group began to feel trapped and isolated. With every clap of thunder and flash of lightning, their anxiety intensified. They tried to keep themselves distracted with games and idle conversation, but the relentless downpour seemed to seep into their very souls. As night fell, the group huddled together for comfort. The darkness outside seemed impenetrable, and the only source of light came from the flickering candles they had lit. The sound of the rain had taken on a sinister quality, as if it was taunting them from beyond the walls of the cabin. Every creak of the old building and every rustle of the trees outside made their hearts race with fear. Suddenly, a loud knocking echoed through the cabin. The friends froze, paralyzed with terror. They looked at each other, each one silently pleading for someone to take charge and investigate. The knocking grew louder and more insistent, as if whatever was on the other side was desperate to get in. With trembling hands, one of the friends approached the door and slowly turned the knob. What they saw on the other side made their blood run cold. It was a figure drenched from head to toe, with hollow eyes that seemed to pierce through their very souls. Without a word, the figure stumbled inside, bringing with it a chill that seemed to freeze the very air around them. The friends tried to speak, to ask the figure who they were and what they wanted, but the words caught in their throats. As the figure moved closer, its features became clearer in the dim light. It was a woman, her clothes ragged and torn, her skin pale and clammy. She bore a haunting resemblance to a local legend that had been whispered about in hushed tones. the ghost of a woman who had died tragically in a storm many years ago. The friends were frozen in terror as the woman began to speak in a voice that seemed to come from the grave. She told them of her untimely death and her restless spirit that had wandered the town ever since. She spoke of her longing for peace and how the storm outside had drawn her to the cabin in search of solace. As the woman's story unfolded, the rain outside seemed to take on a life of its own. It hammered against the windows with a fury that matched the woman's anguish, and the wind howled like a chorus of tormented souls. The friends realized that they were not just trapped in a storm, but in the grip of a supernatural force that sought release from its eternal torment. In a moment of desperation, the friends reached out to the woman, offering her comfort and understanding. As they did, the rain began to subside, and the woman's form seemed to glow with an otherworldly light. With a final ethereal smile, she vanished into the night, leaving the friends breathless and shaken. As the first light of dawn broke through the clouds, the friends ventured out of the cabin and made their way back to town. The storm had passed, and the world seemed to have returned to normal. But they knew that they would never forget the horror they had witnessed. That night, a tale of rain, fear, and a restless spirit seeking peace. Are you ready to experience a spine-chilling journey on a rainy night filled with suspense and terror? As the rain pours down relentlessly, the streets are cloaked in darkness, shrouded in an eerie mist that sends shivers down your spine. The night is quiet save for the sound of raindrops tapping against window panes and the howling wind that threatens to break through the fragile sanctuary of your home. Every shadow seems to come alive, whispering secrets of the unknown. As you navigate through the dimly lit streets, as you pass by abandoned buildings and deserted alleyways, a sense of dread creeps up on you, tightening its grip with every step you take. The silence is deafening, broken only by faint whispers and unnatural sounds that echo in the empty streets. Suddenly, a figure appears in the distance, obscured by the swirling fog. Your heart rate quickens, and a cold sweat breaks out on your forehead as you realize you are not alone. The figure moves closer, its features distorted and grotesque in the pale moonlight. Panic sets in as you try to flee, but the mysterious figure is always one step ahead, taunting you with its presence. Every corner turned reveals another nightmare. Every shadow cast seems to harbor a malevolent force that seeks to consume you. The rain continues to pour, a relentless drumming that drowns out all rational thought. Your only instinct now is survival, as you struggle to find a way out of this nightmarish maze of terror and despair. As the clock strikes midnight, the rain subsides, but the horror of the rainy night lingers on, leaving you haunted by the memory of what you experienced. The darkness retreats, but the fear remains, a reminder of the terrors that lurk in the shadows, waiting to strike again. Are you brave enough to face the horrors of a rainy night, or will you forever be haunted by the chilling whispers of the unknown? Dare to find out if you dare.